it completely made sense to pivot into the uranium space and take these assets. The good news, oh, I was just gonna say the good news about all three of them is they either have had historic resources or historic production.
All right, welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. And joining me now is William Hunter. He's the CEO of Uranium American Resources. And Bill, it's great to see you again. How are you?
Hey, good to see you, Steve. How you doing?
I'm doing well, doing really well, and excited because you have some pretty significant news that you were able to complete the acquisition that we've talked about in the past. That's with JAG Minerals, and so let's sort of remind everyone a little bit and track back to this decision to go after JAG Minerals.
Sure. Yeah. And it was actually a pretty easy decision uh, back when we did it, and now because we're really getting into the uranium space, and I've been in the resource industry for a long time, and have had a complete view that we need to get more baseload power from nuclear energy. And so when we saw these assets, there are three assets in the Western United States, Utah, Colorado, and Wyoming, it completely made sense to pivot into the uranium space and take these assets. The good news, oh, I was just gonna say the good news about all three of them is they either have had historic resources or historic production. So we're very excited about moving this forward.
That's what I was going to ask you about. Tell me where these projects are at, and is there one that really caught your eye for able to get there quicker than every of the other
Yeah,
two?
absolutely. So again, all three have either had resources or have had production. The State Line asset's a series of 19 small mines, and think of them similar to a couple of our neighbors, Western Uranium and Energy Fuels LaSalle project. But they're underground. They've got the existing stopes. We'll obviously have to do some work to revamp those stopes, but it's going to be. We feel like it's going to be pretty easy to get that back into production. It's had, about a third of a percent of uranium historically. We're getting readings showing higher grades. Won't say we're going to get higher grades at this point, but we're pretty hopeful. The other thing is it's a significant source of vanadium, which is critical to the defense industry. So we're really excited about getting that one into production. And then secondly, the Sky project is an in situ recovery that's had 1 million pounds of resources on it historically. We think we can expand that very significantly. It's, as I said, it's a roll front in situ property, so we think we can get that into production pretty quickly. It's in an area that has plenty of in situ mining, so we're really excited about getting this acquisition closed and being able to move this forward.
I know that you have taken steps to shore up your balance sheet as well in order to have the capital to take those next steps that you want to take, and a lot of it will be sort of geophysical work and things like. Is that kind of the next sort of stage here?
Yeah, I think that's the next stage is trying to get into the field and get the geophysics done, maybe get some drilling done this summer, really understand the resource, but also start the permitting process. The permitting process in Wyoming and Colorado. I won't, any permitting process can be challenging, but they're very mining friendly states. So we think we've got a pretty good pathway to get that moving.
Let's talk lastly here about uranium itself and the need for it and the importance of it and local supplies. We're hearing a lot about that. And talk to me a little bit about that position, where that puts the company.
Yeah, no, it's that's one of the reasons we wanted to go after this, and then probably stage future transactions. Uranium is in short supply globally, uh, and particularly in the U.S. Again, I'm a big fan of nuclear power as baseload power. If your viewers want to understand the energy markets, they really have to understand that if you don't have a good source of baseload power, you can't condition the grid. And the renewables, while they're very good for intermittent power, they're not really good for baseload. Uranium is the cleanest baseload source we have going, and it's zero carbon. Obviously, there's some waste, but it's really efficient, and we think it can power the 21st century.
Well, congratulations on this. I'm excited to see the next sort of stage and how these assets start to take their next steps. And we look forward to sharing that with our audience as well. So, Bill, thanks so much. Really great to catch up with you.
No, great catching up with you. Have a great day.
You as well. Bill Hunter, the CEO of Uranium American Resources.